Welcome back to Spiritual Context for Worldly Chaos. This is part 3 of Gemma Gallucci's 2023 interview. Enjoy. So would you say to a person who wants to get a tarot reading, would you say that obviously they need to go in with an open mind or with an open perspective, but do you think that they should already have their questions ready to go, or do you think that they should go in with I kind of want to know whatever, and then they kind of come up with these 3 questions if it's with somebody like you? Or do you think that the person should really wait until they need a tarot reading and go? Because some people get addicted to this stuff, and they think in 2 weeks something's going to change. And it's like, honey, we live in the time-space continuum.
Exactly.
Things don't change in 2 weeks.
Not at all. No, I actually recently saw a friend for the first time in a very long time. And the last time I saw her, I was teaching her to read. And she gave me a reading, and I had given one in her. And basically, I'll start with giving someone a reading so they can see my process. And I gave her a reading this past time I saw her because she actually gave me a deck. She gifted me a new deck. And so I was like, we'll christen this with you. It was the same exact thing. And it's been probably 4 months since I've seen her. And it was the same exact reading. Nothing had changed because she hadn't changed anything in that direction. Yep. And unless you actually take the time to step forward into the path that we just talked about, then it's not going to change unless something worse is happening, basically, which usually isn't the case. I mean, because people's lives don't take that much of a turn so quickly.
Except emotionally, that's really where, and mentally, again, inside, if something gets worse, it's inside because your anxiety is getting worse, or your desire for love or for your dream career or for recognition gets, heightened or amplified over time. And yes, sometimes things can change in the blink of an eye, but even then that's kind of like the wheel reversed, is if it changed in the blink of an eye, it's going to take a crazy amount of time for it to change into a direction that you want it to go in. So even if you say, well, the tower, that's something that's, all of a sudden things broke apart. Yeah, exactly. But maybe at that tower moment, you can also see where all of this time before the tower happened, all that time you didn't see what was going on.
You can see, once the tower has fallen, you can see exactly why it was going to fall anyway. But it's hard to get to that point until it's happened. A lot of people don't know where to go. They don't know where to start. And that's usually what readings are, is I think probably about 75% of the time a reading is about a person's mental block. And it's not about some kind of external situation. It's usually they're afraid to start this, or they don't know how to start that, or they don't know how to end this or end that. It's usually about a person's own situation and the stress that they feel from knocking down the walls of comfort that are actually keeping them from growing.
I love that. So it's almost like tarot reading can be a bit of an inspiration or, a boulder through all these roadblocks that you're talking about. It's like, I can't personally see from this perspective. I need a bigger perspective, or I need a bird's eye view to understand, especially when there's crossroads, right? Do I go this way or do I go that way? When you're talking about love, do I let go of this person? Do I move on? Even though letting go doesn't, that's just time. You can't make that happen. But should I just let go of the idea that this is going to happen and let the emotions leak out of me? Or, so that's the kind of roadblocks you're talking about, right?
Exactly. Yes. The situation, I don't think that this person would, feel stressed with me sharing this. I usually don't share specifics in readings, but this person that I had, my friend that I had seen recently, the reading that we had gotten twice now in 4 or 5 months was about her wanting to start a new career path, specifically within voice acting. And she'd be so good at it. She'd be amazing at it, but she's so afraid to start. Because once you start, there's the fear of failing. If you haven't started, you can't fail. And that's what most of these situations are, is that, if I haven't started, I can't fail. Well, if you don't fail, then you can't find another way to succeed.
That's a really good point, because it's also the other issue with, the idea of going to a tarot reader is you're going to tell me something that's going to magically make me feel brave. And at the end of the day, voice acting is, no matter how good you are, it's a saturated field, just like acting, just like music, just like anything. So it doesn't matter. Every single day, even if you are the bravest human being, can feel like a failure. So you have to kind of come to the reading with this idea that, okay, what do I need to cultivate? What do I need to prepare for? What do I need to, or hopefully you leave with that, so that it's not about, this end point. Like what you were saying about romantic relationships. It's like, I want the white picket fence. I want the soulmate. I want, and it's this Truman Show idea that once you get what it is you're looking for, that it's stabilized.
Yeah.
It's never ever gonna, you don't ever have to do anything again. If I start this voice acting thing, I'm either supposed to shoot out of the sky and be this incredible, success story, or I'm like a mosquito slapped on the ground.
Exactly.
Right?
We
It's
don't
like
really
there's
leave
no
room
in
for
between.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that all the rom-coms end with, and they lived happily ever after. Just trust us on that one, Like, we don't really get that many movies about the middle part when it comes to love. We get the breakups and we get the beginnings, and nobody really is that interested in showing us the middle part, because people don't find it entertaining. They don't find sustaining something entertaining. It's always, oh, the amazing beginning, or oh, like the terrible end, because that's what sells. And so then that's what we only think about is,
and sells. Exactly.
And that's what a lot of things loop around to, is what sells, what doesn't, and then that really influences the way that we look at the world, and the way that we look at ourselves.
And it's also, I think it's very interesting, if you think about generations before the internet, which is most of every generation, because I remember when the internet came out. Yeah, like I remember, I think it was like 13 when it came out, and you couldn't pick up the phone because it would drop the internet. So if somebody picked up the phone,
of that.
Yes, exactly. You'd have like ASL, age, sex, location. And so everybody was just chatting with each other. But anybody before that, I think it is a bit more. I mean, romantic love has been something that's been talked about for centuries, like poems and forever, since the beginning of time. It is an emotion that we experience. But I think that there was a lot more conversation of, like you said, the marriage aspect, or just the harder aspect of anything. Like, let's just drop love, the harder aspect of anything. And if the media and internet, especially social media, really showed you that part, I don't know if you'd feel much differently than you do right now, but I think you'd be more realistic about your choices and about what it's going to take for you to be whatever it is that you want to be, or to have the relationship that you want to have. What are the things about you, like you said this earlier, like what are the things about you that are keeping you in these same relationships? You're coming to me because this is the fourth person in a row that's cheated on you, and it's not to say that you're the problem. I mean, it's more so to say, where are you people pleasing?
Yeah, like what's going on
where
here?
are you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where
are you trying to prove yourself to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really important, that when you go to a tarot reader, if you want the most out of your experience, is to say, what kind of work do I need to put into something in order to change this situation? Or what do I need to look at inside of myself? Because that's where it all starts, is from your own, outward energy.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that one thing that people don't necessarily think about all the time, I know I'm guilty of this as well, is that, do you really want love, or do you want the concept of it? Because if you really want love, then you have to find the person that you want love with, instead of just the concept of love. Do you really want this job, or do you want the concept of this job that you perceive it to be? Because those are two very different things. And I think, going off of the whole, the social media age we live in, everything's instant gratification these days. TikTok is horrifying to me. I use it, but I think it's so scary. Everything's just like, give it to you, give it to you, give it to you. Like, we can get our groceries at our doors. Like, Amazon's a thing. We can have everything at our fingertips, but nothing that's really that tangible in terms of a long-lasting thing like love. And I think that people think so deeply of love because it's the concept of it is to really be known and to know. And we want that, but we don't always know exactly what that really is.
Yeah, and when you think about the card, the Lovers, I think that when you see that card, you think, oh, this is the soulmate. This is the person, like you said, that recognizes me and sees me, and I see them, and our souls, our twin flame souls, are going to, come together. And even if that's, obviously some people have experienced that, but I think still that person, even on their best day, would tell you, I've had to fall in love with this person over and over again because I've wanted to leave this person over and over again. But this is the person that I see myself with. Like there's just something about our connection that I'm not willing to give up. And that's the same as the lovers. You keep choosing this.
You have to choose love. You have to continuously choose it and work for it over and over again. There's no such thing as a destination, ever. There's being born and then the ultimate destination is death, and whatever comes after that is completely different, but everything in between is completely transient and always will be. And there's nothing that's certain except for you. So to say that love is some kind of destination is honestly making a little bit of a muck of it, in my opinion. I think that it waters it down a bit. I think it waters it down a lot, actually.
I agree. And it's so much more complicated than that. And like the lovers, you are the person who is expressing the love. You are the person that is making the compromises to be with the thing that you love, be it a person, your career. Like there are plenty of times that I don't want to do tarot reading. There are plenty of times that I want to, F off and go live somewhere that's affordable and never talk to anybody again. Yep. And it's not the success story of a tarot reader, because there's not many success stories of tarot readers, like in the capitalistic idea of it, that keeps me going. It's because I love doing this and I love connecting with people like this. I love connecting with people psychically, mediumistically. I love just giving people that spiritual connection. And whether the reading goes well, according to me or the person, or, whether the reading doesn't go as well, even if the person likes it. There's times that I didn't like the reading because it's like, man, I should have been able to either give you more, or there's so much I'm seeing that you have no idea that's coming up. So there's no connectivity whatsoever, and those are the times that kind of suck. But that's when, you go back to the little human life, you eat your ice cream, you watch your favorite TV show, and you just you
and the days
probably want to quit that day. Exactly. And the next morning you're like, all right, who's next?
Exactly.
Let's do this.
That's the thing too, is that reading is a lot more draining than I think people give it credit for. It's really being a therapist for a moment as well. When I was doing the charity event for Odyssey Teen Camp, the camp that I went to that helped me, gain more confidence in reading people that I didn't know, and then teach a bunch of children how to read, basically. I was reading from the beginning of it to the end. I think I started at maybe 7, and I didn't stop until some bald man who ran the place said, "You need to stop now. We're shutting the place down." And there were so many people that had come and that I didn't even see them. I didn't even know they were there. Like my roommate was apparently 10 feet away from me trying to get my attention at one point, and I didn't even know that she was there because I'm so tuned in with this person and their energy. And then they're gone, and then it's immediately someone else is in the chair because they see how good it's going and they're like, they want to be there. People were fighting to get into the chair because people want the reading, especially because I was giving away for free, And so I was just zoning.
Free will bring everybody. Yep. Free brings everybody.
Anybody in. But that's the thing, is that I'm just zoning into this person for however long, and I'm in their energy. I'm just deep in their swamp until they're gone, and then I dust myself off really quick, and then I jump into someone else's pool, And it's a lot of it's draining. By the end of the night, I was incoherent. And everyone's like, "Are you drunk?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't have a single drop of alcohol. I've been drinking water all night. No, I'm just tired.
I've been drinking all you.
Exactly.
Okay, all y'all got problems. Every single one of y'all got problems. And you're right. That is I remember I was getting a reading from a person who allows another entity to enter into their body.
Whoa.
And yeah, those are just very spiritual readings, because they're coming from a whole outer exterior place. But the person that she channeled said something just that put me to the floor. They were like, "You spend so much time in other people's mess, and you don't spend any time in your star."
Yeah.
Not even my mess, my star. They were like, you go in and you work with other people's trash. They literally said trash. They're like, you work with this people's trash. And to anyone listening, I don't think you're trash, but this is not at all.
Yeah,
but this
some
is
scenarios can be kind of, messed
when
up.
somebody comes to you, exactly, you are, I've had people, I've definitely had people who have been on the very dark side of life.
Serious stuff, and I'm like, oh
yes.
my God,
Yes.
Sometimes I don't know how to help. I'm like, this is what it's saying, but also I'm just a 24-year-old child.
Exactly. And that was really enlightening to me, because this entity was like, you need to learn how to rejuvenate yourself. You don't go spend time in your own peace, in your own serenity. It's like, I mean, I work with my own stuff cerebrally every day, but when we're meditating or when we're in stillness, our trash is pushed to the side and we get to just be in our own light. And I wouldn't let myself do that at all because for a long time I didn't think I had any. I thought I was, I was messed up from a traumatic childhood, but until I was able to get to that point, now I do get to rejuvenate in that kind of a light and feel who I am. And then it's easier for me to go in and be that light for somebody else in whatever way they're asking me to be.
Yeah, because it's so much easier to help other people once you actually have a peace of mind of your own. I actually took a step back from reading for a second in like 2021, I think, or 2020, because I had this big realization that I was just jumping into everyone else's boxes and, organizing their boxes. And my box was a mess over there, but I was like, no, but I'm in these boxes, so I don't have to pay attention to that one. And I realized how messy my box was. It was like overflowing with just trash. And I just had to say, you know what? I absolutely need to stop getting into other people's boxes. Otherwise, I will lose mine forever. And it's just going to be a mess somewhere that I can't even find it. And so I took that time for myself to organize my boxes as well as I could, of course, because it's never going to be perfect. And yeah, then I said, okay, I can get back into this now. Sometimes you need to take a break, not just because it's stressful work, but because, you need to pay attention to yourself.
Absolutely. And you're 24, not to talk down at all, but I remember that. It's hard to even know, what it is that you ultimately are walking towards at that
I still don't.
age. So it's like everything's still a mess.
Yeah,
exactly.
My box was such a mess that it was like 30 different colors to the point where all just turned brown. You know what I mean? Like wasn't because there's so many directions for me to walk in, but I wasn't walking anywhere because of the fact that I was just like hopping from box to box. And I was like, well, I'll just move wherever these boxes move so I can keep fixing them up. And it's like, well, where'd your box go?
Exactly. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. If you haven't already, feel free to sign up to my Substack, especially if you like to know what's happening with astrology. I send out a weekly Sunday newsletter called This Week in the Sky, and it projects the upcoming transits, retrogrades, eclipses, and so on. And I also do a little mini tarot reading for everybody. So if you like that kind of thing, subscribe to my Substack. That's free. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow. Take care.